Elif. I hope I said that right. Hello, Ember. Hi, Trev. I saw Storm today. Oh, hi, Perrin.
I
Nina.
miss you.
Saw me
Hello.
today. Hi, Membet. Hi, Leo. Already said hi to 47. Hi, Hawaiian Punch. And Sai, I've said hi to Bilbo. Oh, there's Bill. And Alue. Okay, shushing now.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to mute.
Gonna give everybody a few minutes to get in here, and then we'll get started. Mhm. Hmm. Hmm. Hello. Hi.
Howdy.
Can I be heard?
Yeah.
Oh, word. Missed. It is a wonder what well, not even 6 hours. 5 hours does to you.
5 hours of sleep, or
No, like Missy was just like dead quiet this morning when she woke up, and now she's so energetic. It's like you took 50,000 caffeine shots.
Yeah,
I
too
love
many
it.
coffees.
Like you were just like dead silent. I don't think you spoke once.
Nah, I didn't.
And then I come back like 5 hours later, and you're saying hi to everyone. Jeez.
Nobody likes to
I,
talk when they first wake up.
yeah, I had sleepy
Uh,
voice.
I could tell. All right.
My kid says hello, Storm.
Oh, Lil Rouse. I say hello as well. All right. We'll get this started in 1 minute. You can start it whenever. I just got to have a cigarette first.
You gotta have a cigarette first. You haven't
Yeah.
prepped the cigarette already.
Already on that end.
We gotta
Dude,
stay up late for BG.
if I didn't smoke cigarettes, I would have a K40 by now. Like, it's disgusting. No, like I'm not even kidding. I think I did the math. I spend like $14,000 a year on cigarettes.
Storm! Holy shit!
Oh, cigarettes cost $21 a pack in New York.
No
Holy
way.
shit.
You're
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
brutal.
I mean,
They're
in New
like,
York City, they cost even like 27 now.
I think it's like 6 here. I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't
I
quote
know.
me.
In New York, they literally go up every year $1.
It's the Midwest. We're poor here.
Yeah, I miss college. In college, I could get them on like my student food card. It was awesome. And I get them delivered to my door.
I think I used to pay like 20, 22.
You guys like Uber Eats cigarettes there?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, like, where I went to school, basically, like, you had a wild card. I actually went to Nova Nation for college.
You know what? Hell yeah.
I'm not even kidding. I went to Villanova, which is the original
Oh,
Nova Nation.
nah. Oh, I thought you were joking.
No, so
Yeah.
they give you, like you got if you get a food plan, you get like whatever, 200, 2,000 like free dollars. And all the takeout stores around campus accept Wildcard. And in Pennsylvania, you can order takeout beer and cigarettes. So there's like a $3 minimum. So like you'd wake up, get a bacon, egg, and cheese, a couple packs of cigarettes, a couple beers, all on your Wildcard. Very nice. I miss college.
Oh yeah, right on.
All right. Let's start this off. So my name is Storm. I am your wonderful T1. Sorry if it sounds like I have something in my mouth, because I do. Not what you're thinking. So yeah, we decided we needed to have a town hall a couple weekends ago. Mainly to discuss really war council stuff, and just tie up some loose ends in general. So let me get to my notes. The two town halls are the same. So obviously it's been a very intense week. Last weekend was very rough. We will cover all that as well. But just breakdown of what to expect for this town hall. Me and Cyrus will do a little introduction on why we're having it, some of the main things we are concerned about that we just want to get everyone on the same page. Kind of centers on coordination, communication, and commitment. 3 C's. We're in the second hardest kingdom in the game, in my opinion, and I think in a lot of people's opinion, with 1771 being the hardest. So, we're a small fish in a huge pond, and numbers, listening, following orders, being able to communicate in a manner that works and is efficient is extremely important. So, I mean, that's really the war council stuff. I think the base of it. So we'll go into detail on changes we have coming up for this weekend that we're going to try. But then the other side is, listen, at the end of the day, the goal of the Nova Council is, and everyone who is here in leadership, is to make this team truly a family. We have been together, most of us have been together. I think the first merge that made Nova was probably like a year ago at this point, or approaching that. We've changed, we've had highs, we've had lows. We're going to keep on chugging no matter what. Thank you to all the people that have stayed, that have helped. For those who have left, I wish them best of luck. I think everyone on council does. And to those that are undecided, do what you got to do the right choice. At the end of the day, we want to make Nova literally a family. It's an organization that matters. And, we won't burn any bridges. There will be no ill will. And, there'll always be a spot if you want to come back. So I did want to just say that. I did also want to say, I don't know if anyone saw the announcement, or obviously if anyone is totally just out to lunch. But as you know, there were some changes in gravity. Mob has formed, which is pretty much what was 300 and half of gravity. So with that, obviously we lost some players. However, Mob is still part of the coalition, as is 300 is essentially one of their banners. Do not hit them at SOPs or keeps. ST is always fair game. That goes for Mavs, Gravity, and Mob now. Remember, Gravity likes to change names. Gravity is also Ghost, Boats, whatever it is. Don't hit them. You hit them, we get messages. We don't like that. Okay? Got it, Twist? Thank you. Sorry. Not trying to call out people.
Yeah, it was a mistake.
I know, and you'll be good. Everyone, this is Twisted, aka Cookie Monster, aka good mate, a good
Yeah.
bloke.
Hey, Cookie.
Hey.
Let's call him Twist. He's usually used to be locked in a dungeon by another player, but unfortunately she left, so he's out now. But we're happy to have you out, Twist.
Come out of the dungeon.
Not even going there. Just I'll go back on mute. Fuck you guys.
No, we love you, Twist.
Yeah. Cheers.
So, you know, and that's what it's about. Me and Twist have been playing together for a long time. I think, Twist, how many times have you left me? Like 2 or 3 times? But
At least 3, I think. I like to go
Yeah.
walkabouts, so
You
yeah.
do. And like I said, it's a family, and I take you back every time after a stern talking to. And that's
Yeah,
what
I
we're
probably
trying to
get
make
told.
this team.
Yeah, I get told off every time, but you know.
Well, sometimes that's needed. And I think
No,
that's
definitely.
Greener on the other side.
yeah, so but you know, that kind of plays into why we're having this town hall. Simple fact is we have a shit ton of talent. Look at our roster, even as it is right now. I mean, we have over 100 keeps that are probably marching at least 4K minimum, if not 4.5. We have a lot of dragons that are maxed. I mean, it's impressive, and obviously, I'm proud of everyone. I'm proud to be T1 here. I'm proud of our council. I think we have truly built this team kind of from the ground up after we merged, because it was originally 2 separate teams, Colt and Rogue. And the people on council, council's not supposed to be a job, and people on council and also Hova's player development, logistics, everywhere, literally worked our ass off. Just get to where we have gotten. But like I said, with all that talent, we're not seeming to turn out the results that we need. So we will discuss that. Each council, has given me some notes. If they're here, they'll go over themselves. Otherwise, I will. Cyrus will chime in, but at the end, and then we'll do questions, obviously. And as always, feel free to ask whatever you want. This is your team. No one here is a dictator. Everyone here, we try to make sure is represented in some form or fashion on councils. We come here to escape real life. That's just the reality of it. For some people, this is a massive investment of money, time, and energy. And for others, it's just a place where they want to go and have fun. And we have tried to balance that from day one. That's why we have 3 banners. That's why we have PvP team. That's why we have, Nova. That's why we rotate people. We're willing to work with everyone to find a solution almost every time, unless you just completely ignore us, in which case, obviously, things will not occur that way. But, that's really just how I want to kick it off. I want to say thank you to everyone to begin with, because it's been a fun ride so far, and, this is a long-term plan for us. We want to keep growing. We want to keep on getting stronger. You want to make Nova truly as good as it can be, and it could be really good. And it could be an amazing, awesome family, and we want to keep on having a fun time while remaining competitive. So that's all I really have to start off with. And lastly, I will just say, I beg of everyone, if you are on for lock, just join VC. We'll talk about it later, but it makes life so easy. And you don't have to talk, but if you can be in VC for lock, for bombs, for coordination, we will get results. It's a game of numbers, and it's a game of communication. That's where we're at. So with that, I will hand it off to our War Commander Cyrus to share his thoughts.
So I just want to state that the goal of council and the goal of this team primarily is to create a space where community can come together, have fun playing the game, and be able to enjoy it, right? So we have created the PvP team and the Nova team and even a third team in order to accommodate these. The PvP team, of course, is going to come with a bit more organization, a bit more commitment, and a bit more effort of people. But if you're not willing, to show up to a lock once a month at least, or if you're not wanting to follow like, the direction or not wanting to submit stats, not wanting to do all these things, then we have a space for you. Nova 2 is a place where we kind of have for the community and for growing and for building and for logging in without all of the extra commitments due to the game. But we do want to have a little more organization and a little more commitment from the PvP side of things because people enjoy the game coming out to organization, coming out to, different kind of uh, setups that require people to commit. So we have to create that as well within the PvP. So things like stat submissions, things like showing up when you sign up for locks, and things like following command, following directions is something that we kind of have to tighten up on that end. But we'll go into that. We want to make everything fun. We don't want this to be a job. We want to use encouragement. We don't want to say, hey, you need to do this, or we're not gonna want you on the team. We don't want to be that kind of team. We don't want to be that kind of group. We don't want to be that kind of community. So
We
we're
don't wanna be
thinking of ways to go ahead.
I was gonna say we don't want to be a cult like Vesos.
So we're looking for the best ways to kind of encourage this organization. We're looking for the best ways to balance out commitment without it becoming like a full-fledged job. And our goal is always to create space for anybody that is active, anybody that's investing time, anybody that putting into the team. Our goal is to create a space for them to enjoy it the most way possible. So keep that in mind with kind of everything that goes on. Keep that in mind whenever we put out some kind of system or we put out something to get done. It's in order for everybody to be able to enjoy the game in the most way possible. And by no means is it us just focusing on PvP aspects of it, because we do have two full teams and a third banner as well. So everything that we do is consistent with making sure that everybody has some form of way to be in the community, to enjoy the game, and to be able to not be frustrated and get the best out of our potential.
Yeah, no. So I think Sai put it, nailed it right on the head. Obviously, if you're on PvP, we're gonna ask more of you. I think it's always though gonna be a reasonable and rational request. No one will ask you to do something that they wouldn't do themselves. Now, we're not going to ask someone to stay up 24 hours to bubble game, although some of us would do that and probably have done that, such as me. But simple things, making lock that 2-hour period once a month on PvP. It's not an official requirement, but it's something we at least like to see. Like I said, if you do sign up for availability, we're making plans based on the expectation that you're there. So if you're not there, obviously we're already down a player and we're scrambling to fix that. Furthermore, if we don't have stats, it's hard for us to know who to put where. It's just personal responsibility and accountability. if everyone's willing to just give a little bit of that, I think, we will all have a much more enjoyable experience playing this game. People say they don't like locks or locks don't matter, but let's be real, when you end the weekend with 10 locks and beat the shit out teams like Outlaw and Spartan and Drac, I mean, it's fun. It's a lot funner than chaos. And that's what we want to avoid. I mean, we want to make this truly a family where we all know each other. We all know what's going on. Any issues are literally minor. And we all have, we're all on the same page. We all know we're going in the same direction. We're not rowing in opposite ways. And that's the goal. And I think everyone here is truly capable of that, is a great person. If you wouldn't be here, like if you weren't, you wouldn't be on this team. Because we don't do what other teams do necessarily. We march to our own drum, and we're going to keep on doing that. But, as I said, we just need a little bit more, a little bit more effort, I would say, with respect to the PvP team. To Nova, you guys have been doing amazing. And also thank you to the entire Nova 2 Council and MEEPs. Especially, we'll talk about this with more council. And also Fox for kicking ass and Steve-O. The last 2 weekends, you guys have just shown how much everyone has advanced, and that's an amazing thing to see. But, at the end of the day, it's still a game. I get it. We are trying to balance, the fact that some people spend thousands of dollars, other people don't spend anything at all, which is fine. If you want to be here and you show up, council will find a spot for you that makes sense and works. So with that, we will go to Manbat and Logistics. Manbat, how you doing, bud?
Doing well. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Cool. I'm perfect. I'm driving, so I'll keep it quick. I'm Manbat. I'm in logistics, and we have a few people in logistics. We have Ray, we have Damon, Meeps, Elite, a lot of people in logistics. So if you ever find yourself out in the cold or have issues, just submit a ticket. The other thing is we like people changing their names. It's awesome, but if you change your name in game, if you could just change it Discord too, that way we're not so we can find you and make sure that we're not able to it's just helpful. So if you please just change your name in Discord after you change it in game, that's awesome. And then if we help coordinate the shuffle. So if there's a shuffle, we're gonna try to do better about announcing times ahead of time. That way it's not like an all-day thing. So we'll just try to announce it and give everybody a heads up to make sure you're available. And we'll try to keep our shuffles pretty quick. And I think that's all I had. And if anyone has questions, just reach out.
Yes, the
Yeah.
importance of putting in a ticket as opposed to reaching out, because a lot of people they like to private message. They know somebody in the logistics council, or they talk to them, so they reach out to them. But the importance of putting in the ticket is that we're not all available 24/7. We have several people on each team in order to kind of cover for this. And putting in a ticket allows everybody on that team to see what's going on, and the person most available will be able to respond the quickest. So be sure to put in a ticket. It gets overwhelming when somebody receives several DMs from a team that's 300 plus big. So it's important to kind of separate that into the tickets to where other people can respond and see everything as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a great point, Cyrus. Yeah, that's what I meant to Yeah, the tickets are really helpful if you want, especially logistics and any of the other teams. But we really love it when you submit the ticket because even the person you might be trying to reach directly, they're still going to see that ticket. So it's just helpful because if they're not able to help you, we have a whole team of people that can help you, and it's a lot faster for you, especially in logistics. If you get like something that happens, people get stuck out in the cold. That ticket is just so much faster for you to get out of the cold than messaging someone else because maybe they're not available. Everybody on logistics and small council, I think, gets pinged when you open a logistics ticket, so it's really helpful.
Yes, and I will say for anyone that is going to be leaving us, once again, we are very sorry to see you go, and hopefully you make your way back here eventually. But obviously, if you have banners underneath you, just please be respectful and do the right thing and let us know so those people don't get stuck out in the cold. And that applies obviously anytime you drop, except especially if you're a T3 or a T2. So with that, I will say, and also thank you to the logistics team. You guys have done a great job, and especially with all the crap that's been going on this week. So because of you guys, we actually have a team that makes sense, and please keep up the good work. Now we will have our favorite Welshman, Mr. Beal, speak about the importance of statistics. Come on, Beal, where are you?
Bill says he is asleep.
All right, then I will speak for him. Okay. So, obviously, as you know, if you're on PvP, statistics are a requirement when you first join. And then we ask that you update them monthly. So, going forward, and this is, unfortunately, this is a non-negotiable thing. All stat submissions are going to be done within a set week, which is going to be the first week of each month. So sometime between the 1st and 7th. In principle, that should make it easier for everyone. Just know at the 1st of every month, you got to do your stats. They're done via Google's Sheets. Takes 5 minutes. It's literally like Pictionary. So there's really no reason to say it's too hard because it is a 2-year-old could do it. Sorry, it could.
So the benefits of statistics aren't only for PvP purposes. They're also for being able to identify areas to work on for players. It's a way to get people to see kind of what to work on, like, oh, I'm down here on this, maybe this is something I should focus on, and it keeps people that are around the same statistic area. Like if you're like me, just to take my personal account, and I'm right below Fent in defense. And so I'm constantly trying to catch up to that. So it gives me like kind of a small ladder of somebody to compare to and try to catch up to. And watching yourself kind of rise in those ranks really pays off as far as feeling good about it. Like, oh, look, I've made progress. I was, 26, now I'm 23rd. I was, 51st, now I'm 40th. But it also is a great deal of importance when it comes to PvP in the weekends, knowing what the defensive stats of players are, knowing who's got the big rain caps, knowing who's got big rally caps, really allows me to plan out the most efficient way to defend, the most efficient way to attack, who should be holding seats. So it has a multiple reasons that it is important. So the weekly or the monthly updates are not only just going to help the PvP, but also with just kind of our own focuses and seeing where we are. And hopefully it even brings out some extra communication, because I know I'm going to reach out to whoever's right above me on that list, and I'm going to look at my stat and I'm going to be like, where are you at? How much further do I have to catch up? And that's just a good way to kind of have a little, friendly competition go on. It adds another layer of fun onto the game. So the 1st and the 7th, everything will be posted out on the 1st about, hey, stats are to be submitted. The 7th is going to be the end date of it. If you haven't submitted by the 7th, you will be reached out to with following week. And then after that, it'll be either going to Nova 2, Discord jail, what you do. But it is something that we've struggled a lot with. We have a very low count of stats that have been put in. We've spent a lot of time reaching out to people, trying to get them to put it in, to say, "Oh, I'll do it later." I'm about to do it, but never receiving them. So it is something that we are going to have to kind of tighten up on and figure out a way to regulate to make sure that we get those in. If that's not something that you enjoy, if it's too much of a commitment to be, sending stats once a month, if it makes it to where you don't enjoy the game that much, then Nova 2 might be the best place for you at that point, where you could rotate in when you please to join on lock weekends, or you can join Nova 2 for their setup. But the PvP aspect and trying to get to the next step where we are, it's something that's going to be required. The organization and the putting people in the right places is going to be imperative to taking the next step into like the 3-star. We're getting more out of what we do, because when somebody that doesn't have good defense is reigning a seat, everybody in that seat suffers for it.
And they're dragons.
So we're gonna use the most encouragement we can, and that's what we like to use here is positive encouragement. And we've tried that for months now, and we just haven't gotten results in it. So we'll just ask that we bring this new system out. We have all the T2s reach out, the T3s reach out, so plenty of reminders for it. It takes 5 minutes. It's very simple. If you do have trouble, we have plenty of people to help you with it. And in the long run, it'll be beneficial for everybody. It'll make for a more enjoyable game and a more awareness of where you stand with your keep.
And yeah, and as I said, we're going to have basically a 3-strike system. So, if you don't submit your stats by the 7th, which essentially is the day after the first crafting event of the month ends, you'll be reached out to, and that will be the first warning. Second time, basically your Discord access will be restricted to only seeing literally announcements on what you need to see. And if you still continue just to completely ignore us, unfortunately, you will find yourself dropped to Nova 3, and you're not going to be coming back up until we get stats. That's where we are. Unfortunately, it's just part of the game that we need. So please get your stats so Beal's a happy camper. Okay, so I think that is all we have on stats. Except that I gotta beat Have. Sorry, that's a personal thing. And now we'll go to player development. Did you see here? No? Meeps, you want to talk on player development, or would you like me to?
I can talk on player development. So
Yeah.
we have several player development options. One is Ask a Maester. You can just type any kind of quick question that you might have. We have very quick responses with it. Any kind of thing that you want to learn about is Ask a Maester. And I want to really highlight our growth plans. Growth plans, we have a whole team to support your keep in a growth plan. You open it up, you show what you're trying to work on, and we have a team that helps you to get to that. It's a lot of information on efficiencies, not spending as many resources, the best way to get to those stats. And about once a week, once every 2 weeks, I even find something new in this game. So just having another set of eyes on things, you'll learn of a new button, you'll learn of a new level up thing, something in the armory, something in the enhancements that benefit you in the way that you're trying to grow. And even if you don't have your own, even if you don't need somebody else helping you out, opening up a growth plan is a great way to set a focus for yourself and lay it in front of yourself. So as I'm, working on my keep, I usually focus one thing at a time. Either I'm growing my dragon, or I'm trying to get my, defensive stats up, or I'm trying to get my marcher up. But if you focus on too many things at one time, you feel like you don't move the needle on anything, and you use your resources kind of around to where you can't really commit to anything. So opening up a growth plan and focusing kind of on one thing at a time, one thing a week, one thing a month, whatever it is a great way for you to put it out in front of yourself and remain focused on where you're trying to get and what you're trying to do as well. So I recommend everybody try to open up the growth plan, even if you're not looking for help, just to kind of put out, hey, I'm trying to get this hero up for the hero event. I'm trying to get, this dragon, I need this much lore for. But we're also working on doing office hours. Each council member kind of picking out a day, and we're going to have, an hour or two where just our doors are open for whatever questions you might have. If you want to work on bubble gaming, if you want to work on rally bubbles, if you want to work on glitch range, if you go over your heroes and see what's the best for, BGs or anything of that nature, we're going to try to keep office hours open for anybody to come and get that kind of thing done. Player development is something that we can't help with if we don't communicate about it, right? If you don't share what you have going on, if you don't share what you're working on, and there's no way that we can assist you and helping you as a team to grow. So be sure to, if you are looking to do something, kind of share it. Open a growth plan, join one of these office hours, join one of these training sessions. Because like I said, every week I learn something new about this game. Somebody shows me something that I'm like, what is that button? But you can do that. Maester chains. I can't tell you how long I went in this game without even knowing what a maester chain. Just got so much going on. Utilize our player development team in the best way that you can, and help out anybody that you see in any way that you can. We're a support group here, so if you see somebody asking a question about something, or struggling with something, point them in the right direction. But, hey, you can ask that question here, or you can open up a growth plan here.
Yeah, and honestly, don't be afraid. No one will judge you. I have a growth plan. It's good for even making the short-term goals, so you know exactly, when I get enough oaths, this is the hero you're already committed to. And we have players on this team that have been playing since it launched 8 years ago. We have, obviously everyone here has been here at least 2 years. We keep all the channels up to date, with all turret guides or Citadel charts, usually both. We will be doing a lot more office hours, as I said, where anyone can come, ask any questions. And then obviously we're also, we try to do as many trainings as we can, whether that be individual ones or with the coalition. But, if there is something you want to learn, just ask and we will do it. We definitely need to do a training on, range and defense. We've done several trainings on, bombs, dragon rallies, most recently with the coalition, which were great. Anytime there is a coalition training, or if there's anything that we don't know and they can train, they're more than happy to do that, especially LV and Mavs. So the resources are all in this Discord to get better, to grow, especially most efficiently and effectively. You know, I will be a peacock right now, and I will say, anyone doesn't do BG, you are not playing this game efficiently. Because maxing rattle out and getting stags is a game changer. So I also highly recommend that. But you know, yes, we are a PvP team, but we're also a growth team. And you know, our goal here is to grow and to work with you to make sure everyone can grow in the most reasonable and effective and efficient manner possible. Some people are big spenders, some people are not. It doesn't matter. We all have each other's back. We're one team. We sink or swim together. That includes growing and learning how to play the game. So
And
please make use
last
of those
note on it
resources.
is, last note is that we are working on recordings. So we'll be recording trading sessions. We'll be recording crafting sessions, posting all of those so that even if you don't meet the same time as office hours, or you're not keen into having somebody kind of one-on-one with you or whatever that is, we should have recordings of most of this stuff getting made and put up that you could just go and watch and kind of learn at your own pace.
Yep. We'll just figure out, you know, ideally, if we do have recordings, you know, we'd like them to stay here unless we have permission from the owner to share them with other teams. But we will figure that out when we start posting them. I know we have a good defense one from Paw and Mavs that ideally everyone should watch. But yeah, I mean, we will, anything you want to learn, just ask, and it shall be given. Squeaky wheel gets the oil. So that is all we have for player development. So we'll move right along into Argo. Rao, you still around?
I am around. I have
Why don't
stopped
you
moving.
tell the team
Get it.
how our alliance growth recruitment organization is going?
Oh, I will. I will be glad to. You all know me. I'm Rao. I'm the co-lead alongside a Storm of our Argo Council, which is Alliance Recruitment and Growth. We're in charge of finding those new recruits, working with these other teams regarding mergers and naps and alliances and such like that. The Argo Council is comprised of myself and Storm, of course, and then Min, who has been doing a fantastic job since we added him last week. I think we've added 5 people since Damon came on because of Damon. So y'all make sure when you see him, if he's not on this call, to give him a shout out. As the work that he's doing and that Storm is working on and that I'm doing at Bus, full banners with active players that want to grow. And that's absolutely essential. So what we've been working on until early this week was mainly trying to rebuild our relationship with players that left us 300. Obviously, with ones that went to Grav splitting off, we're not doing that currently. So we're we do still have good relations with those players, Rod May and Citricus, who left us to go back to 300, and several others. But we are still allied with them. But the active players have merged. Mob, as Storm said earlier, is part of the coalition as it stands. We're not sure how that's going to hang out, if we're going to stay part of the coalition or not, and we will keep you guys apprised of the situation as best we can. And the way we're working recruitment, any of you have potentials that have spoken to you in DMs and they seem chill and like they would match our vibe, or of just an absolute banging little trap keep that's out there every weekend. You try to recruit or whatever, and they seem into it, or whatever. You can send them our way, and we can start those talks with them and see what we can do to get them in. Now, Storm and Cy and I all sit on War Council as well, so we make the decision among High Council to bring them on, talk to them, and then War Council decides where they're going to sit as far as what tier they're coming in as. Typically, they're all going to come in as a T4. And then Damon works alongside of logistics to get them Discord and get them placed. So we are currently working on trying to get a couple of the larger teams to the table to talk. If things go good, we could see another larger team split between us, Gravity, in an equitable fashion. Not all of the K40s go to Gravity. But we're working on that with a team or two. I'm not going to say who we're talking to. It is not Outlaws, so y'all feel free to strip them and zero them whenever possible. But I will let you know that their T1 will talk to my manager again. She's a Karen. But that's what we do, Karen. But that's what we're about. We're about pulling new players into the family. We don't just pull people in blindly. We want to talk to them first. Want that we feel comfortable adding them in and that their goals are aligned with ours. There are tons of people out there that are just solo. That one A38 or whatever that's out there, like not Valhalla, but the other one that's just paper and he keeps getting zeroed. He doesn't play. He is not a potential candidate for Nova, at least the PvP team. I mean, if he wanted to jump on to Nova 3, he would be welcome, I think. But we don't want to bring on people that are going to be dead weight. I don't care what the keep size is. I don't care what the marcher is. They're not playing, if they're not active, if they're not contributing, then they're not what we want. Pretty sure that the rest of Small Council would be aligned with me on those thoughts. But again, if you guys have one that you think may be interested in joining or that you think that we should talk to and see if we can't talk him into joining, then we're glad to do that. I do want to say welcome to our recent recruits and new family members. Of course, I know you're on the call, and your players formerly from including Stevo, the lost sheep, have finally made your way home, and we're glad to have you. Kieran and her husband from Outlaw, glad to have them as well. Charlemagne, Groot, and Bloody Blade, if they're on the call, you guys, glad to have you. And the other one, Storm. We've got several more that we're talking to. But for all of you that are here, we're glad to have you. For those of you that are here still with us that came over with 300, Paul has been doing an amazing job doing the things that she's doing, growing like a weed. We're going to get her into some BGs so she can start working on those silver stags. Are we Apple? But we're gonna keep growing, and that's what we're here for. Talking about office hours, y'all. I'll tell you right now, my office hours are Eastern time, 3 a.m. to 7 p.m. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, random bits of trivia, issues with someone in the Alliance, or just need somebody to talk to, vent, shoot the shit, whatever, I'm here. Shoot me a DM in Discord, shoot me a message in game, whatever. But we're here for you. We want to keep going. It's been going strong since August of last year, and we want to see at least a whole nother.
Yeah, and I will just follow up in terms of, alliance growth. There will be an SYC, in probably about 2 months. We will probably get notified in about 2 weeks, and we'll know, who the other kingdoms are. Obviously, as we get closer, we will discuss that, and we will be as transparent with you with respect to what we think the best plans for everyone is, the team. At the end of the day, every decision we make is for the welfare of the team. We don't put any one single individual or group of individuals ahead of each other. And that's the only constant in this game is change. So we will be changing, into a new kingdom of some sort, very shortly. So just keep that in the back of your mind as well. And I think that's really, all we got to talk about. Other than, as I said before, just in general, try not to burn bridges, especially in this game. Loyalty matters, your reputation matters. If you leave, we are more than welcome to always welcome you back. It's a lot harder if you leave on a very bad note, which is what we want to avoid. We want to have a good time, want to stay competitive. That's our
Olive
goal.
is on. Do you want Hovis to say a piece?
Yeah, we're here's only talking about Argo. That's all. That's all we
Oh.
have to talk about Argo.
Sorry, Hovis is next. But I will let our head hoe, Olive, discuss what Hovis is, or her deputy hose.
Hi,
That's
can everyone
Queen
hear
Ho.
me?
Queen Ho Olive.
Whatever. Let's go,
Yes,
hose.
thank God.
Okay.
Hose and staff for life.
So for those who don't know like what Hovers do, we're basically the human resources and like the Discord event planners of the group.
What does
So if
Hovis
you
stand for?
I can't remember. It was made so long ago.
Oh, see? Can anyone say what Hovis stands for?
Isn't it something like helping others engage or something like that? What it
Storm,
Yeah,
was?
you
that-
had your turn, sweetie. It's Olive's turn now, okay?
No, this is a question I asked this morning.
Oh, sorry.
It
Didn't
is
Grove
Have another
herald
drink,
essentially
of
Andy.
migrate
engagement,
from
value, and
gravity's form of it?
appreciation. No, Hovis is the heralds of engagement, value, and appreciation. So we deeply appreciate our head hose and deputy hose. So you can continue now.
okay. Yeah, so if you have issues with another member or anything, you can come to us. We don't really have huge amounts to talk about for Hovers today. We had something that we were discussing in the group was we want to know what events you guys want to do, and at some point we'll put up like a poll or something so you can vote and give ideas. We're also still looking to sort of expand Hovers, so if you're interested at all, just reach out to us. It's always handy to have extra hands. And the only other thing I think was normally we do weekly activity checks every Tuesday. These are currently paused. I can just see these messages popping up and they're distracting me. I'm planning on building a bot to do the activity checks just to make it easier on everyone. So once that's up and running, your activity checks are going to be mandatory again. If you don't fill them in, you're going to have us chasing you and just making sure that you're all right. So that's it.
All right. So in addition to Hovas, I'll just briefly mention this as well and give it a plug. Obviously we have a Hova event tonight to celebrate the first annual Nova Nation Day, which will now be May 1st. So I expect everyone to be here next year, May 1st. I'm sorry, Haven. You got to deal with me again. That's what happens when you're ahead of me in attack. Also, we have, thanks to Hovas, they have allowed Cranky on our team to open up what is called Cranky's Playroom, which is basically the most extreme nerdy trivia hunts based on Game of Thrones. So if you're into that, you have to roll in. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Headho, but with Breach next weekend, we will be having another Breach of the Wall contest.
Yeah, we will.
So I can retain my crown. Awesome. So I highly encourage everyone to do that. There is a reward if you win, I believe, and it's really simple.
Phil and I are going to win, Storm.
Yeah, bots aren't allowed.
We're
And
not
then
gonna bot.
also, yeah, you're still not gonna win. Regardless, they also do theme of the week. You know, it's a fun way to just get to know everyone, and I highly recommend that. So, Hovas, anything else you'd like to discuss?
So speaking on that, if you do have any ideas for events or you are interested in getting involved in it, reach out to Hovas. Like as in same with Cranky's account where he reached out, hey, I've got this, trivia hunt thing that I'd like to do. We're able to make a space for that. If you're interested in something like that, if that's something that you have an idea for, if you have some kind of event that you want to run, we can put the announcements out, we can make the space for it, and we can get you involved in the fashion that you want to. So don't be afraid if you have a good idea to bring it to the table.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
this is
your
Ray.
team.
Hello.
What up,
Hey,
Ray?
Ray.
Hi.
A couple of things too that I just wanted to add in is the fact of like we are trying to create a culture to make everybody kind of more engaged. And on top of that, we're also here to literally be an ear to listen to if you know of something that's happening that isn't right or you're not comfortable with certain things that are happening. We are kind of the council that you can go to and know that it's like a safe space, or you're just having a day and getting fed up or frustrated with the game or even daily life. We are the ones that are there to hype you up and also bring attention to where the attention needs to be brought. So we are a party bus, but we're also kind of like a therapy session. So if you need to turn the frown upside down, the whole life will get you there. I am full of happiness and positivity, even in a bad mood. So if that helps and you guys are having a mood, find me and I'll make you smile. All of us hoes will. That's what we're here for.
All right. And now we will get to the main event, which is War Council.
So we have a lot of potential. We have a lot of good keeps, and we have a lot of good players. But however, we are a lot of newer people playing together. So each weekend, I've tried a lot of different strategies to put out organization, put out plans, and we just seem to be struggling with the communication part and the organization part of it. So what I'm going to attempt to do for this next week coming and hopefully the weeks ahead of it is breaking down everyone on the PvP weekend under captains, making smaller little units that kind of work in tandem and move around in tandem to create, whatever need it is we have in that role. But as you can see with the organization of the weekend, when people aren't organized, when we don't know exactly where we're supposed to be or where we're supposed to go, it gets chaotic, it gets frustrating, and it leads to less results. I can be as rigid as possible with the plans, but the problem is that we're having, or that not everybody that's signing up for the weekends is showing up. And so if I make those rigid plans and we're missing, 2 people out of a seat, or somebody's not shown up for a seat holder, then we have to call people out of other roles and we have to fill in. And once we start filling in, when it's just me and Storm kind of directing everybody, we get lost in who's in what SOP, who's doing what role, and we're taking away from our role. So having rainers to provide titles, having titlers to search out titles, having strippers to strip titles so we can better defend, and having rally setters along with fillers are all important roles that we have to have going at all times. And so when we lose, a few of our strippers are joining the rallies too early, and then we lose the ability to strip, then we're getting hit with titles, then we lose our ability to title. Then our titlers are going to fill SOPs and defending, and then now we've lost our titlers as well. All of these, it's important to stay in these roles. It's important to have all of these go according to where you're kind of positioned, but things do change. And in the war plans, when somebody doesn't show or something doesn't go exactly as planned, and we start spreading out, that's where we're losing our effectiveness. Raining SOPs, when you have, eight marches in an SOP, when 4 marches will fill it, that means we have 4 marches that aren't filling bomb rallies, which means we're being less effective offensively, and we're not having any more effectiveness in defense. So you'll hear me call for, a set of people to hold one SOP, and then I want that same set of people holding another one. The issue is we're getting all these different marches raining. I've got 4, 5, 6 different people in an SOP, and they end up being in 4 SOPs, and they can't properly, defend. They can't properly change out their reins, and all their marches are kind of eaten up. And I have the strippers that are all of a sudden stuck in rallies, and they're doing something else. So what I'll be looking for in these weekends is to assign captains. So let's say I have 16 people signed up, or let's 18 people signed up for the weekend. I'll want a captain and 5 people, and everybody will work in tandem within that smaller group. But communication is the biggest thing that we lack. If you're not able to come for a weekend and you signed up, reach out and say that so we can plan accordingly. If we're asking you to be somewhere, and you're not, it's not something that you want to do. Say I want you to rain an SOP and you just don't want to do it. We'll reach out and say, hey, I want to stay on attack. Instead of me just being like, hello, are you there? Where are you at? But the direction, following the war command direction, is something that we lack in communication. So I think by breaking it down into smaller groups, that we'll be able to harness more of that organization, keep in the roles that we need to play, and be able to pivot better. But the fact of the matter comes down to, if we want to get to the next stage of getting 3 stars, getting locks, and laddering up, is that we absolutely need people in VC. If we can get just 15 people in VC to set bombs, we can get 30 bombs set. And if we get 30 bombs set and filled, that means that we can push out a 3-star. That's what it's going to take. We've gotten up to about 20. We have a lot of people filling, but we don't have a lot of people titling. So if you're not setting and you are going to fill that rally, you're going to want to make sure that you title everybody filling that before you move over, because the issue is everybody ports over to fill the rallies. Everybody asks for titles, but we just don't have the titles to kind of go around everybody. So a lot of that has to work with kind of working in tandem of, hey, if you're a filler, you need to title first. You need to make sure everybody's titled from where you're at, and then later in the bombs you fill. But a lot of that's going to help when we have kind of smaller groups working in tandem. So if you're a group, if you're captain and you're filling, You're going to call for your team to come take an SOP for titles. You're going to get your team titled up, going to get them filled, and then you're going to look to title other people and then get in there. So we're going to work on getting a little more organized. We're going to work, our rain practices, and we're going to work on trying to communicate better. And we can easily get to the next tier. We can easily get to the next stage of, locking with locks that lock for 2 weeks and then having titles to go for something bigger and laddering up. We have all the potential. We have all the keeps. We have all the activity that we need. We just need to get a bit more practice, a bit more organized, and have a bit more commitment to sticking together, to sticking to roles, to sticking to like the game plans in general, or the direction given out chat. But communication is going to be the key. Following up with what's put out and knowing like, hey, if I'm going to step away, if I'm playing on the weekend and I'm going to step away for 30 minutes, just put that in chat, right? Let us know what's going on. If you've signed up and you're not able to make it, then just go ahead and let us know early. But I will be looking for captains. I'll be reaching out for those that sign up, kind of organizing, types into teams, and I'll be reaching out saying, "Hey, are you willing to be the captain and lead these people? If you're not willing to, if that's not something you want to do, just let me know. I'll figure something else out with it." But I think this is a kind of a structure that is going to bring us kind of to the next level of where we need to be.
Yeah, and just to go off what Sai said, and as I said earlier, you have the talent. This is a game about numbers and communication and coordination. It is very hard to set true sync bomb rallies if the setters are not in VC. Even a second difference in rallies allows for spam rain, full march of spam rain to get in, and then the keep is back to what it was. So once again, I beg of everyone, if you can get into VC, I don't care if you don't talk. It's more just so you can hear the countdown and we can all set at the same time. It's also much easier, obviously, just to give direction and allow for less chaos. And if we can do that, we're going to be in a really good place. And as well as turning out, keeps on PvP. So we are gonna, as I said, the expectation is if you're on PvP, we would like to at least see you once a month for that 2-hour lock period. I know Sai didn't discuss this, but normally we do spend, we focus on the last 4 hours of lock. Because we can't rain seats really for more than 2 hours max. That's even 2 hours. We take a lot of hits. It hurts. That's what you get for playing in one of the hardest kingdoms in the game. Normally we spend that first 2 hours on Sunday with the coalition doing coalition bombs, and we will likely, we'll keep on doing that. This weekend's going to be a little different, and I'm sure Sai will talk about that in a second. We're going to just focus on Nova this weekend, but when we are doing coalition bombs, we'll be in that first 2-hour period. Then, as always, we break off in the last 2 hours and we'll do our own thing.
So the theory behind it and the reason why that we do the coalition bombs is we don't want to rain something for 4 hours. And so that 2-hour period before the last 2 hours of lock, there's really not much for us to do but twiddle our thumbs. And the more pressure that our coalition has on the map, the more pressure it takes off of us at the end of lock. If Mavs, Grav, and 300 have a majority of the map, the Paramounts, all these K40s, these big keeps that you see at our 2.5s just whopping away. They're busy. If they have a bunch of Paramounts to take, if our coalition owns a lot of the map, they're far too busy to be coming down and hitting us. So we benefit ourselves the most from assisting them and getting them more seats because it keeps our enemies busier. It keeps the really big keeps that can wallop us out. It keeps them busy in those last 2 hours. However, due to last week we only got one lock. It's seeming that people are losing a little bit of oomph. And the organization that I'm trying to get us to get into, we're going to spend the entirety of this weekend working on holding 2.5s and titling for bombs at a 3. So if you're normally not in for the coalition bombs, you just like to play the last 2 hours for us, know that we'll be playing the full 4 hours this weekend for us. And the best way for us to be able to help our coalition is to better ourselves. And so that is the reason it's not quite an abandonment, but Nova comes first. And I think this is something that will benefit the coalition in the long run as well. Untitled marches is another thing I want to talk about. With these bombs, that's what kind of throws people off is, hey, we don't have titles. Well, why are we hitting this when we don't have titles? So it's a numbers game. Yeah, titles will get a bigger march in there, but when you're bombing with 30, 40, 50 other bombs, it's the total number in the end. So if we're titled and we're filling up and the titles are those extra little marches, if we're filling up our bombs regardless, we're hitting with the same amount of troops. So unless we're not filling these bombs up, if we're not hitting our cap on these bombs, and we're hitting with this other coalition at the same time, I mean, we're talking, we're going to be hitting with hundreds, several hundred, million troops in a bomb. What's another 300,000 out of like 10 million between the whole coalition? And it's, it is better to hit with a title. You get a bigger march in, but when it comes to numbers that big, it's all about the results. And if we're able to push somebody out and they're able to get in there to defend, they have a whole team focused on getting that back, and that opens up a lot more of the map for us. Last thing I want to touch on is Nova 2 and their need and their want and their growth of their own war on the weekends. We always offer for Nova 2 to be able to rotate up and fight for us in the PvP team and get that experience if they'd like. However, when you do rallies, BGs, and you do events and you do all this with people, you're going to want to fight on the weekend for them. And that culture is building. And so we're looking to build that culture in Nova 2 as well. So we're going to put out posts for leadership, try to create our own war council within Nova 2. I'm going to be jumping over there and leading a war charge in a couple weekends and trying to rally the troops with that. But if you're interested in a leadership position with Nova 2, if you're interested in working with me and building up that kind of strategy, I'm all for it. I would love to see it. We need just a couple of people to step up in there, and the keeps in there. They're fighters. They're wanting this, right? So we're going to look to build that there as well, and I think it's going to be great for the growth of the team. I think it's going to create a lot more fun for the team, and I'm going to support it fully. So if you are in Nova 2 and you are interested in learning, I can teach everything that I know about setting up strategies. I'm going to be doing training exercises with rally bubbles and glitch trains and teaching all the keeps over there for that. And in turn, it'll when they finally get kind of in their groove with it, it's gonna benefit to the weekend lock for even PvP. It's them doing their own thing, us stripping for them stripping for us, them getting a lock. But it's really growing a lot. Like Storm was saying, that the Nova 2 team is coming into its own. And so we're going to be looking to support that on the weekends. If you see that they need some help and you've got the extra, manpower to do it, always help out. And then be looking for leadership if you're interested in that, to run that war council to help plan out. In the meantime, I'll be probably setting up, this will be a couple weeks. I'll be setting up a war plan for Nova 2 and for Nova 1. And so that's some good news coming.
Yeah, I mean, I think as Sai said, the most important thing, and we all know it, is communication, coordination, consistency, showing up. If you're active and you're on, we'll find a role for you, regardless, whatever that is. The more active players we have, the more numbers we have, the more rallies we can set, the more bombs we can set, the more SOPs we can rain. But if you look at the reports right now and the way we're doing it, we have 18 keeps raining. And as I said, you only need 4. We are hurting our own self and we're just not being efficient and effective. And that is what we're trying to get to, so we can get to the next level and the next step. So, it requires everyone though to buy in. It requires everyone to commit something, whether that's 2 hours, an hour, we'll take whatever time you got. But we just ask that when you do get on, you let us know. And you do listen, you follow instruction. And the last thing I will say is, when we are doing the coalition rallies, obviously we are hitting power amounts of 3.5s. A lot of times we don't have titles. But, when we are bombing with the coalition, you're talking about, sometimes 80 to 100 rallies hitting on once. This past weekend, if we put siege in, we would have taken Storm's End. Now we wouldn't have been able to defend it, but it's not like we're not taking those seats with takeover marches. We are. The first week, Beal took High Garden, and I took High Garden too. We got cleared out right seconds after, but I get everyone thinks they need a title, but I cannot stress enough, if you work on your March size research, or more importantly, the Queen Mother set, and we should be having recap shortly. But obviously the Queen Mother set is the best for base March size. If you do have a dragon or you're going against an SOP, the new dragon set, 3 pieces from there and 3 pieces from the Queen Mother set. That is the recommended, highest March size gear. With respect to March size percentage, that stuff's awesome, but just note, if your March is not at around 330K, it does not kick in. So really, unless you're titled or you have a huge dragon march, it's not going to be as effective as the regular Green Dragon gear and the new 3 pieces. And then lastly, I just want to touch on raining and seed holding. So obviously next month we have new rain cap gear coming out. Rain caps are going to go up sky high. I'm sure some will have be 700,000, which is going to add, we're going to be hitting in the 2.5s that are filled with 1.5 million troops. It's going to be a lot. And that's why also rally cap gear is important. But with respect to raining and seed holding, yes, we do take note of who has the highest rain cap, and those are the players that we want to be holding seats because the more reinforcements in there, the less damage for everyone, the better chance we have of holding. But that doesn't mean, and I respectfully ask all seat holders, if you're holding an SOP every week, you're doing something wrong. You know, the goal is ideally, everyone on council pretty much keeps a list of, the players that we see constantly reigning, stripping, that we feel should be rewarded. And I really hope, I know some people do it, I do it, but we get in the practice of passing SOPs off. So even if you're stripping or rallying, or you never are a seat holder, you still end up with a lock, you still end up with the shards and all the benefits of getting a lock. Because the simple fact is, we can only do it as a team. If you're ending with a lock 2.5, it's because the entire team was there to support you. So our goal is that everyone, shares in the wealth. We rise together, we fall together. So
Can I
that's
chime in
all.
for 1 second?
Yeah. So we're gonna
I'm just
open up.
wondering
Yeah,
if
Uno, shoot, and then we'll do questions.
if there's one thing that we could do if we're gonna sit there and make these captain teams, to make sure that we're assigned and make something super easy. Can we call for banner color changes? Red head here, blue head here. Just change your banners to a red for that time period, so you're on the red team. You're on the blue team or something. It's just a suggestion or something like that. So it's something easy to call out. I mean, you know who your captain is, but just something. I mean, if you can look, you're in the wrong spot. You need to go back over by your team. I'm not sure. Just suggest it.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's what gravity does. It's obviously I'll talk to Cy about, and we'll discuss with War Council. We are kind of trying to make the roster so, basically a T3 pod ideally eventually will be, a time coordinated group, if that makes sense.
But yeah, I could
Even-
color code.
or
I
even
could
just
color
a single
code.
color.
Yeah, I could color code the captains, and then the captains just kind of get their group to color code, right? I mean, maybe not everybody will do it, but I mean, if a few people do it, it'll still be helpful, and maybe it'll catch on. That's something easy I can add in that can't hurt, right?
I mean, it's not something that's permanent. It's just, okay, this is where we're at today. This is who we know is playing.
Yeah, I mean, but that does go back to the fact that, we do have an issue with, we have now we have about 130 players on the team, but, it's, as I said, if you sign up, show up. If you can't, let us know. It's just a lot easier that we can, like I know for a fact every weekend that Britt's gonna be on, setting in VC. So is Have. If we can get that consistency from as many people as possible, it will just make life 1,000 times easier all around. We will end up doing better on the weekend. We'll end up having in my opinion, a lot of people in this game say locks don't matter, but the simple fact is when you do end with a lot of locks, you feel better as a team. Winning does, results do matter, and naturally makes everyone happier, it boosts morale. So like I said, I just urge everyone to give whatever they can. And if they can't, we get that. But as been discussed, we have other places and teams we can put you. And
But
lastly,
also on the flip side, if you didn't sign up and you end up showing up for lock unexpectedly, make us aware. Let us know, like, hey, I'm here. Where can I best suit? One of the frustrating things of players that get on that weren't expected is they'll go and they'll rain a seat that I was wanting to try to get somebody else in, and then it's like I'm trying to call out for them to pull, and so I can get like a ranged in where there's too many cav or something like that. So just if you are not part of the game plan, you do end up joining in, just kind of speak out. We'll get you assigned to a captain, and we'll get you in the role and doing the things that best help out. And also, if you prefer any position, if you really like stripping and that's where you like to be, let me know. I will always put, even if it's not the most effective for your keep, I'll always put players in the roles that they enjoy the most. So if you do get on, you're not on the game plan, or if you've signed up and you're like, man, I really don't want to rain. I just want to bomb rally, or I just want to strip, or I just want to rain. I can't really be on my phone that much. Just reach out to me. I can always make adjustments, even if a game plan's been made, and I can always put you in the role that you most enjoy, rather than a role that you're not going to have fun playing.
Yeah, and then I will just say my last pitch, which is once again, VC, VC, VC. I beg, please.
I have one
Make
thing.
it, join. All right, that's all I got.
I got one more thing real quick before everybody starts jumping off. Of course, we all know Ray has been selling raffle tickets so she can offload her keep and out of the game completely. She has sold all her tickets and she's fixing a raffle to keep off. But if y'all, I don't know if she's in the call, but if y'all can, send her off with thanks and well wishes, it would be appreciated. Ray was an awesome member of the team. She's been with us since Levity came on, and I know she was with a lot of you guys for a long time. So let's make sure we send her on her way with well wishes and whatnot. I know she's going back to school, so she needs the time and the cash from the keep sale to go back to school. So just make sure that she knows that we're going to miss her and she's appreciated.
Yeah, and buy a raffle ticket.
The keep's fixing to get raffled. Tickets are all sold. She's fixing to
make more.
like now, fixing to add it to my collection.
Oh my god, the Row State Empire. Anyway, so at this point we will open it up to questions. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to shoot. Whatever you want to ask, we are here to answer.
If you're not wanting to do voice, you can feel free to do your questions in the chat, and we'll address them.
If there are no questions, I'll just remind everyone that next weekend there's no PvP, as it is Breach. There likely will be a nap, obviously on 3 stars and above, as always. This Tuesday,
Hey, I have a
Wednesday.
question.
Shoot.
This is me, Sansi. So I am trying to open up more time on Sundays because Sundays is rough for me. Mind you, I have 4 little kids where Sunday is like get ready for school week. But my main concern right now is maybe you got a better suggestion for me. It is hard for me to say I can help and strip or try to give titles. Oh, excuse me, I don't got my seatbelt on. When, mind you, I'm 32 keep, I had 10 troops, and now the last kingdom we were in, hey, probably would have worked wonders. But I don't I don't see me being as helpful. Maybe you know something I don't know, because mind you, I'm still new to the PvP group to where I really don't know how to fight. I'm one of them keeps to where they say it's not about what you got, it's how you use it. I'm still learning it. But I am struggling to but I just feel like these keeps are massive.
So one thing that might make you feel a little more comfortable would be to title the strippers, and that's where you play at the 1 and 1.5 stars. That way you don't have like
Okay.
reined in 2 stars and things like that, and that's something that's really helpful when somebody's going to strip. You're able to title them there. or even
Okay.
joining rally bombs. I'm just getting in your march size gear, sending in your rally into the rally bombs and filling those out. Are two ways that if you feel like you're not being effective as a stripper or you're not able to hold for titles or anything like that, those are two things that you could do that could still stay extremely helpful.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, hit the strippers with twos so they can sit there and get in, and if you have free marches, um, get those into certain rallies. If they don't want them, they will reject. Don't feel bad about it. It happens. It happens to me all the time. But when they know you're trying to help and you're trying to get in, it'll it it just works out.
Okay, well, I definitely didn't think about giving titles to the ones who are actually given the 2.5.
Yeah, like the ones that are trying to
To
strip the
know.
2-star titles.
Or I've never done.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
the ones that are trying to strip the 2-star titles that are getting the titles away from people hitting our 2.5s, you're able to title them. So you'll see somebody say strip and they'll put chords in, and then you can go to those chords and just any keep that pops up there, you can throw that title on, and that'll give them a bigger march towards it.
Yeah, a quick title at a 2 or a 2.5. Even if don't keep reins in if you know you can't keep playing because you can't be on, is a super help. You have no idea.
And if you need ports, shout at me because I always have a bunch.
I have plenty of ports. So basically, so when they say help reinforce, so even though I have T10s, I don't mind.
Yeah, so the T10s, their base unit stats are just too low. So it's about a 12% decrease in total stats between each T line. So if it's ever like spam, if we ever call for kind of span reigns, that's kind of when we'll want you to be able to kind of get troops in there so we don't lose it during a bomb or whatnot. But with the T10 troops, I think the best way to utilize those is to just hold down a 1-star, um, and title those stripping twos. And then when the bomb rallies are calling for fills, when it's getting low and we see that we don't have enough keeps to fill, that's when you'll want to go fill those up and get those what would be empty in with your troops as well.
And living
Okay,
proof
got it.
sitting there that
Makes sense.
T10s can get hurt pretty bad. I try to just sit there and do my best because I'm insane. That's just the way I play. But um, yeah, I get trying to help everywhere and all that stuff, and I know I need to be better at what I should be doing. And this month, Uno is going T11, so now I will actually be able to do some real shit.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you for that. I appreciate that because I was a little lost. I'm like, I want to help on Sundays, but I'm like, I don't know what to do. But I appreciate it. I know there was a thing as far as helping the people who was trying to give titles out. So, um, hey, any little bit I can do, I'm willing to help.
Yeah, and so
And
that's
I
something
will
you can
say, I just
do.
don't know if voice chat is gonna be something for me. Sundays are hard until my kids get out for summer. I can try to join, but I won't be able to talk. I can listen, but I won't be able to, say much.
Yeah, that's fine. Listening's more important. Talking, it's just me and Storm and a few other people that kind of talk in there. So if you could just join on mute, that helps a lot with understanding what's going on, what we're doing, instead of having to read the AC chat that keeps scrolling. But even
Okay.
with the 1-stars and title in 2, you'll have a title to hit like a 2-star too. So if you're sitting there and you're like, man, I don't see anybody to title, you could still go check out some 2s and see if you can take them. If you can't, oh well. But it still gives you the option to try to do that, but that's not going to be like your primary function, right? It's okay if you
Yeah.
can't.
For the
So it
most
kind of
part,
keeps
I
you.
think some of them, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
No, I was to say for the most part, on some of them, I feel like I can beat, a bigger keep and take them. It's just a matter of, I guess, when you guys are using them, and they see that, okay, this is where somebody's who giving titles at, then a big 40 or something like that, I can't do nothing with it.
Yeah, but at that point, you just want to bubble it, wait till they go away, retake it, and then hand those titles out again. If we're needing titles constant, we'll put a whole rain team in there, right? So when you're getting titles for just like quick, like a lot of times we just need the title long enough to get rains refilled back in. And so if you're able
Or
to take
bubble
it
Okay.
for 5-10 seconds and then get those rains rebuilt in, then you can just bubble it and you can just chill there until they get bored and leave.
Okay.
Or you can
Gotcha.
sit there and bubble it and know that you're gonna be you can't be there. Let somebody else know, and somebody else will get there and retake it because you are trying to actually fully function, help somebody, and you already have titles out. And then we can redish those out and get some proper reins in there for somebody that can stay there longer.
Okay. Gotcha.
But yeah,
Thanks,
VC
guys.
on mute and just talk through AC as you can, and just communicate. Like if you are struggling somewhere, just say, "Hey, I'm struggling here." Because we can't keep an eye everywhere. It's hard to see what everybody's got going on. Like a quick like,
Right.
"Hey, I can't get this. I can't hold this," and somebody's like, "Oh, I've been looking for a 2-star, or I've been looking for this." Um,
Okay.
so any of those kind of chats in AC, and then just on mute in VC, just to kind of hear what's going on and be more aware of what we have going on.
Okay. Gotcha.
Totally feel you on that one. So great question.
All right. Any other questions? Because if not, we have the Hova party and we got some BGs to go to. So speak now or forever hold your peace. Well, that's not really true. You can
I'm kind of in the
talk
same
now.
boat. This is Frog talking. I'm kind of in the same boat as Sun. T10, but don't have a lot of experience. This is a new keep for me, and I've just been trying to build it up on a budget. And I really want to help, but I'm kind of lost. I got dragon gear, and I don't know what to do with it.
So open up a growth plan if you haven't already, and we'll have our growth team work with how to build and things like that. And then find us on our office hours, and we can kind of go over some training exercises with you about gear to wear, when to send it. If you're on for a weekend and you're looking to help out, just try to get those 1-stars and look for anybody trying to strip the 2-stars and title them, just like I told Sunsia.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
that's a way that you can be useful. But I really recommend the growth plan for you, and then that way we can help you with the right builds, the right gears, the right presets. And then anytime we have an office hour, jump in, and then we can screen share and show you kind of, here's what gear I'm switching to for this, and here's how I'm doing this, and seeing it rather than being told it is a whole different way of learning it. Right?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What is Evan? Where you wanted? Do you want to say something or no?
Hey, come on now. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
All right, good copy. I just wanted to bring up with our strip crews, we need like at least a team dedicated to it, probably for members primarily. Help rain and dish the tits. That would probably help tremendously, especially in that 2 hours to lock period.
Yeah, so I typically assign a set of people for stripping and titling. In the battle plans, I typically have the list of people set for that. I'm gonna go a little more detailed into it and go back to the 1-star titling for 2-stars, a team for just stripping, and then a team for just titling. So I'm gonna get a little more detailed back again with it. But I typically every weekend do have a set of people designated just for stripping. But what ends up happening is they get caught up in the bomb rallies and they get stuck in those, and then all of a sudden they can't move. So that's the issue we're running into is strippers are only supposed to join those bomb rallies at like the last minute, right? But then they just get sitting over there and they get comfortable there. But you'll see in the game plan I put out for this weekend, you'll see the set for strictly strippers, set for strictly titlers. And the rest will be bombers and rainers. We'll have teams of everything, right? So it'll be a captain of strippers and different things like that. So you'll see a bit more of that in the game plan put out of here's the strip team, here's the strip captain, here's the title team, here's the title captain, here's the rain team, here's the rain captain, here's the bomb team, here's the bomb captain.
Oh, good copy on all that. Oh, I definitely appreciate that. I think what I was kind of really getting at though is that you had a group of 4 that can definitely rain stops for sure. One is RC only. Everybody else. The next stop, you have a different person, RC. Everybody else fills in, and those 2 can tit everything. They can also strip seats, and then we can continue to defend those 2 stops. But they're only focused on those 2 stops. They're not jumping around, doing defense everywhere else on the board. I think that would be tremendous helping us with getting some of these rallies like fully titted up. But a point that when you get a tit, immediately use it, fill, and drop it to remove the ability of the other team to see where that tit's coming from to try and strips. It reduces that load that we wind up having on the top titting from.
Fully
Yeah, I
agree
mean
there.
that's what we do every weekend is we set up a rain team, and typically I have them do 2, and look after those 2. It's a team of 6. One's just a rally cap holder. The other ones are rainers, and they strip for that, and they title from there. It doesn't
It's been
seem that
rough with
way over the
it's
last
been
few
rough with
weekends.
titles. It's been rough with
So
titles, and when they're not
so
dropped, and we get hunted down. Sorry about interrupting.
yeah. So over the last couple weekends, what has happened is the teams haven't showed up. Like half of who I've had assigned for setting up these SOPs haven't showed up, and then it gets a little disorganized with trying to find somebody to come over here. But you'll see that what we do is we build a team. Hey, you're the seat holder. You guys, you reign here. You guys focus on this. So it's just not been as apparent, I suppose, over the last couple weeks. But it's definitely the same strategy that we use every week. I just haven't put it out in game plans as rigidly because of the issue. If you look back a few game plans back, you'll see that I have here's seat holder 1, here's seat holder 2, here's their rain teams, here's their rain teams. Half of them aren't showing up, and so then it gets to be like, well, where's my team? And then, okay, well, now we have to try to grab so and so over here and so over there. So I tried to go a little less rigid the last 2 weeks.
Oh no,
Again, kind
good
of
copy,
why.
sir. Go ahead, Uno. Go ahead.
Again, kind of why I like the color code. This is your team. This is who is assigned. This is who we have previously assigned. They didn't show up. Okay, we got a new red. Okay, cool. Otherwise, we sit there. These are our rainers, and we know these are our rainers. We throw them as a green. All right, fill the greens. I mean, just throwing spitballing stuff out there. But it's just trying to find the people that need to have the stuff in them, and or the teams to stay together. I mean,
Yeah, and
I'm just trying to get some more organization that we to keep
look out
our
in
groups
AC.
together.
When we are getting a certain way, I'm calling out in AC. Hey, I need you raining here and here. So just keep an eye on AC because I am giving that instruction out. I wasn't here last weekend, but every weekend prior to that, I have picked 4 people to stick to one spot. And a lot of the trouble has just been getting people to read those AC messages. I'm gonna start doing DMs was recommended to me. Sending out the direct message just so that it doesn't get lost in the AC, it doesn't get lost in all the crazy going on. As well as the captains, as well as the color. I think a combination of all of this is going to turn out to better results.
Yeah, I don't think we had a bad plan last weekend. But it was we just got hit hard and fast, and yeah, they just came everywhere we were going to. They didn't
Yeah,
want us
this
in the
last
2.5.
weekend. Oh, go ahead, Uno. Sorry.
Oh, they just didn't want us in the 2.5. Go ahead.
Oh no. Yeah, they they clearly were finding the act. It is what it is. Like, obviously, we were the point of attention. But I appreciate all the planning you're doing, Sirius. The only thing I was kind of relaying is that in that last 2-hour period, we should just have a set of 4 people that are assigned to a strip crew. Let Uno and or myself just kind of guide them where they need to go. Because if we need 2-star tits, somebody's going to go for a 1-star in whatever region. Go and grab it, arena it, do our thing. Go to the next one, which is a 2 or 2.5, whatever the ladder is trying to build. But like, we can manage that team accordingly, and because we need to be fluid, we need to be able to go across the board. We can't just hit this one specific 1 or 1.5 and 2 and 2.5. Like, we got to constantly be able to shift.
Yeah,
Is
I
all
see
I'm
what you're
kind of getting
saying
at.
is having that same setup, but for the strippers at the lower end, and yeah, the captains and this color coordination and all, and separating the team into smaller units. I think it's gonna give you exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, good copy, Sirius. Appreciate that.
Yeah, good call. All right, this is going to adjourn the town hall. I do believe it's been long enough. There's other things to be had, and appreciate everybody coming out. I appreciate everybody putting in their 2 cents. Everybody reach out with anything, any concerns, any questions at any time, and we'll keep working to make this a funner game, a better experience, and a smoother team.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Obviously, if questions, like Cyrus said, reach out, make a ticket. Otherwise, thank you for coming out. If you are doing BGs right now, it just started. Otherwise, we have the Hova party. And I hope everyone has a great night and let's get some ass this weekend. All right.
Oh yeah,
About that ass.
UTA. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank y'all. Later, everybody.